Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be giving my NBA DraftKings picks for Friday, October 27th. We've only got a 7-game main slate today on a Friday, which does seem a little weird. Friday slates are usually always like 10 games or more. So it feels weird having only a 7-game slate on a Friday. So our options are kind of limited today, but I'll be sure, like always, to hit on some guys I like at each position. Then as we go, I'll build a core of 5 plays that 5 guys you should be considering putting into your lineups. Or if you want to build a lineup around the 5 core plays, you can definitely do that as well if you want to do that. But yeah, let's get started looking at this slate. Get started with point guard. Alright, so at point guard today, up top, we've got Russell Westbrook at 11,400 going up against the Timberwolves. I think if you want to pay it for Westbrook, he's fine on this slate. It's a good matchup. Timberwolves are not good against point guards. Jeff Teague, not a good defender. And I said at the beginning of the year that Russell Westbrook wasn't going to be the guy that we saw last year, the guy that averaged a triple-double. So far, he's making me look pretty stupid. I believe he's got 3 triple-doubles already this year. I see 1, I see 2, or no, he's got 2 triple-doubles. So out of the 4 games he's played, he's triple-doubled twice. And through 4 games, he's put up 60, 36, 57, and 72 DraftKings points. So I think Westbrook's worth the price tag here if you want to pay it for him. Like I said, it's a good matchup. He's still going to be playing well. He's still going to have the ball in his hands a ton. I don't think he's going to be the Westbrook from last year that they just gave the ball to when they needed scoring, because now they have Melo and PG who they can rely on for scoring. But Westbrook's still going to be rebounding, still going to be getting assists, still has a chance to put up a triple-double just about every night. So I definitely like Russell Westbrook. You want to pay for him. He's in play at 11,400. Under him, we got James Harden at 11K going up against the Hornets. I also think if you want to pay it for Harden, he's definitely in play here as well. It's going to be hard to choose between Westbrook or Harden. I think I'd probably lean Westbrook just because of the matchup, but I think both guys are great plays if you can fit them in. I said this a couple days ago, but we're getting the Harden from last year for a while CP3's out. We're going to be getting the Harden that gets a ton of usage. They rely on for scoring. He's going to be assisting. He'll even grab some rebounds as well. Pretty much locked in for about a 40-point floor, it seems like, with Harden right now. So if you want to pay for him, he's also in play. Him and Russell Westbrook, probably the 2 studs on this slate. The top 2 overall studs when it comes to projections. They're definitely going to be up there. So if you want to pay for them, feel free to do so. And then under Harden, we got John Wall at 10K going up against the Warriors. I don't think I want to be on Wall today at that price tag. I don't think you want to pay that much for him when you can get Harden or Westbrook for just a little bit more. And Harden and Westbrook have a way higher ceiling than John Wall. They have a much higher floor as well. I just don't think Wall's worth that 10K price tag. Harden and Westbrook, both of those guys have potential to rack up 70, 80 DK points, and John Wall doesn't have that kind of upside. Wall definitely has a pretty high floor. You can pretty much lock him in for just about 40 DK points every night. But when it comes to ceiling, Harden and Westbrook just feel like have a way higher ceiling. So I think if you're going to pay that much, I'd just go up to Harden and Westbrook. John Wall's price tag just what gets me off of him today. So I'm not going to be on him. Steph Curry is at 8,900 going up against Washington. I think Curry's fine if you're looking in that price range. I don't think I'm going to be going in that price range. I think there are guys that I like that are a little bit cheaper, or if I just want to pay it for Harden or Westbrook. So I don't have a ton of interest in Curry just because of his price. His price is kind of stuck in the middle in a range I'm not going to be looking to target, but the matchup is fine against John Wall. Curry could definitely play well. He's been playing well to start the season. So if you want to target him, don't mind him at 8,900. But looking for other guys sort of in the mid-tier, KEMBA Walker at 7,800. Really like KEMBA here playing at home against the Rockets. It's going to be a really good defensive matchup for KEMBA. He's either going to be matched up with Harden or Eric Gordon, 2 guys that are not very good defenders. And KEMBA's also going to be playing at home where he plays very well. So I think if you're looking in the mid-tier, really like KEMBA Walker here. Charlotte's going to have to be playing up in pace, or the Rockets play up in pace, which is going to allow Charlotte to get more possessions. So I like KEMBA here at 7,800. Definitely a guy I have some interest in at his price tag. Kyle Lowry's at 7,600 and he gets to face the Lakers. I don't think I'm going to be on Lowry. He's kind of been up and down to start the year. At that price range, I'd just rather get to KEMBA for 200 more. So I don't think I'm going to be on Lowry. Looking for some sort of value plays like guys 6K and under. DJ Augustine is going to continue to start for the Magic. Elfrid Payton has already been ruled out for this game, I believe. So Augustine should continue to be in the starting lineup. And in the games he started for the Magic, he's played pretty well. The 3 games he started, he put up 22, 36, and 34 DraftKings points. Now his price has risen a ton. He started the season at like 3K. He was pretty much the stone minimum. Now he's up to 5,700, so you are having to pay a pretty hefty price for him. But in his last 2 games, he's hit 6x value in both of those games. It isn't the best matchup against the Spurs. The Spurs don't really play up in pace, and we know they're a good defensive team. But the matchup with Dejounte Murray, I think Augustine can definitely win that. Wouldn't surprise me if Augustine put up 30+ again. So I don't mind him at 5,700 if you want to target him. I think he's definitely in play. One of the core plays for me is going to be at point guard. A guy I really like here, Spencer Dinwiddie at 5,200. Going up against the Knicks, I'm going to be plugging Dinwiddie into the core. D'Angelo Russell, it looks like he's going to be doubtful for this game. It looks like he is going to miss. So Dinwiddie should continue to start for the Nets. And in the games that he has started, he's played really well. He did start in their last game against Cleveland, and he played 32 minutes and put up 40 DraftKings points, had a great game. Dinwiddie's price has risen a lot, up 1K. He's now 5,200. But I think that's still a little bit too cheap, especially given the matchup against the Knicks, a terrible defensive team. So I really like this spot for Spencer Dinwiddie. I love this game. Looking for a game to stack. Brooklyn and New York, a ton of guys I like in that game. I am going to be getting exposure to that game with Spencer Dinwiddie, 5,200. Really like him today as a value play. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for point guard. Not a ton of guys that are really cheap here that I see as of now. Maybe if you want to target a guy like Malcolm Delaney, Dennis Schroeder's out for this game. I would imagine Delaney's going to continue to start. And he does get a pretty good matchup against Denver. Not that great defensively against the point guard. So if you need some really cheap value, don't mind Malcolm Delaney at 4,600. But I think if I'm going that cheap, I'd probably just try and find a little bit of extra salary and get up to Dinwiddie or a guy like Augustine, or just pay up at the position. But yeah, that's pretty much it for point guard. Those are just some guys I'm going to be looking to target today. Let's go ahead and move on to shooting guard. Alright, so at shooting guard, some guys I see here. DeMar DeRozan, 8,100, gets to face the Lakers. It's not that great of a matchup for DeRozan when you look at who's guarding him. I would imagine he's going to be guarded by KCP. I'd imagine the Lakers are going to put Lonzo Ball on Kyle Lowry. So DeRozan is going to have a pretty tough matchup against KCP, who is a really good defender. DeRozan has played really well this year. Through 4 games, he put up 29. Not a great game there, but 37 against the Sixers, 41 against San Antonio, and 47 against the Warriors. So as of late, he's been playing really well. 3 straight games, over 37 DraftKings points. I think his price tag is just a little bit too much for me today at 8,100, especially because he's going to be guarded by KCP, who, like I said, is a really good defender. So just because of DeRozan's price, don't have a ton of interest in him at today. 8,100. Bradley Beal at 7,500 gets to face the Warriors. I'm not sure if Beal is going to be guarded by Curry or Klay Thompson. I would imagine he's going to be guarded by Klay Thompson. And Thompson is also a pretty good defender. But Bradley Beal is another guy that just has been playing really well this year. 46, 41, 30, and 45 DraftKings points through 4 games. And I'm sure this game is going to be played at a really fast pace. It's going to be very high scoring. You have 2 teams that like to push the ball. So that really sets up well for Bradley Beal. The matchup does scare me a bit. Klay Thompson, like I said, a pretty good defender. But with the pace of this game and how high scoring I think it's going to be, I think you can definitely target Bradley Beal at 7,500. If you're looking to pay up his shooting guard, I don't mind him at his price tag. And then looking for some cheaper guys at shooting guard, some guys like sub 6K that we can target for value. DJ Augustine's here. I already mentioned him back at point guard. I think he's a fine value play today. Kent Bazemore gets to face Denver. Really like that matchup for Bazemore. He is just 5,400. I think he is a fine value play if you're looking for a guy in that price range at shooting guard. I definitely think he is in play. It's a good matchup for Bazemore, and he has also been playing pretty well. He's been hitting value as of late. In his last 3 games, he's put up 21, 23, and 35 DraftKings points. So just 5,400 for him to get 5, 6x. You need about 25, 30 DK points. And in this matchup against Denver, it wouldn't surprise me at all if Bazemore got there. So if you want to target him for value at shooting guard, I don't mind him at 5,400. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, another guy I like at 5,100. Not a good matchup going up against DeRozan. I think KCP just a little bit too cheap. This guy's hit 6x value in 2 straight games. He's only played 2 games this year, but in the 2 games he played, 6x value, 30 and 33 DraftKings points. So with just how cheap KCP is, I think he's a fine play if you want to go cheap at shooting guard. I don't mind him at 5,100. For him to hit 5x, you need 25 DK points. He could totally do that. So I think if you want to target him for value, I think he's also in play at 5,100. And then one more value play I think you can target is Tim Hardaway at 5K. Hardaway's been absolutely terrible this year. 3 straight, pretty disappointing games. 9, 18, and 10 DraftKings points for Hardaway through 3 games. But he is still playing some pretty heavy minutes. 29, 35, and 28 minutes for Hardaway. And he's still taking a ton of shots. 10, 16, and 11 shots, or field goal attempts through 3 games. So once the shots start falling for Hardaway, he's definitely going to start producing fantasy-wise. The shots could definitely fall in this game against Brooklyn, a team that plays at a very fast pace and not a good defensive team overall. And like I said earlier, I love this game as a game stack. So I think Hardaway is definitely in play, even though he's been off to a really rough start this year. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he got things going here. And at just 5K, you need 25 DK points to get 5x value, which is really good for cash games. That's pretty easy for Hardaway to hit in this game, I think. So I don't mind him as a value play today. You're looking in that price range. Also like him at 5K. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for shooting guard. Those are just some guys I see here that I'm going to be looking to target. I don't see any guys like under 5K. I mean, there's guys here like Malcolm Delaney, who I've already talked about, but not a ton of guys I see here under 5K that I'm going to be looking to target. So yeah, that's pretty much it for shooting guard. Let's go ahead and move on to small forward. All right, so up top at small forward, we've got Kevin Durant here at 9,400 going up against Washington. Love this spot for KD. I think he's one of the studs you should definitely be considering to pay up for today. He's not that expensive either. He's only 9,400, which is really cheap for KD. We rarely see him sub 10K. KD really hasn't had a monster game this year. His best game was against Memphis, and he put up 58 DK points, which is really good, but obviously KD has potential to put up 60, 70, which he hasn't done yet. But he's still been really consistent through 4 games, 50, 58, 47, and 44 DraftKings points. Like I said, KD's only 9,400. For him to hit 5x value, you need like 45, 46, 47 DK points, which is totally possible in this matchup against the Wizards, who really don't have anyone on that or on their roster that can really defend KD. So I think he's one of the studs you should definitely be considering to pay up for today. And he's not going to cost you that much at 9,400. So really like him if you want to pay up for small forward. I think he's one of the studs that should definitely be on your radar today. In the 7K range, we got 3 guys here: Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, and Andrew Wiggins. I think if you want to target one of these guys, I'd probably go with Carmelo Anthony at 7,200. He's been playing the best out of those 3 guys so far this year. And I would say Melo's going to wind up getting the better matchup. I would say that the Timberwolves probably put Wiggins on Paul George, and that would leave Gorgie Jang on Carmelo Anthony. And Melo should definitely be able to win that matchup. So I think if you're looking in that 7K range at small forward, Melo would be the guy I would target. Paul George really let me down the other day against the Pacers. He fouled out in that game. He only played 19 minutes because he got 6 fouls in 19 minutes, which is really disappointing. PG really let me down the other day. So I'm still kind of salty about that. Not going to be targeting him today. I'd much rather have his teammate Carmelo for 500 less. So like I said, if you're looking in that tier of those 3 guys, I like Carmelo the most at 7,200. Looking for cheaper guys, maybe 6K and under, some guys we can target. Going back to that Brooklyn-New York game, really like DeMar Carroll as somewhat of a value play. He's only 5,500. I think he's a fine value play if you need a cheap small forward. Really like him today. Carroll has been so consistent this year through 4 games. Has yet to put a game under 30 DK points. So far through 4 games, Carroll's got 35, 31, 32, and 37 DraftKings points. He's been really consistent, has been absolutely crushing value. He's had almost 7x value in almost all 4 games. I was going to originally put him into the core plays, but there were some other guys I saw that I liked just a little bit more. But I still love DeMar Carroll today. If you're looking to go cheap at small forward, he is a guy that I definitely think you should have on your radar at 5,500. I think he's a great value play. I think there are other guys from Brooklyn as well that are also good value plays just because they're all so cheap. So if you're looking to get exposure to that game, definitely should be considering DeMar Carroll at 5,500. And also another guy I like from that game is CARIS LEVERT at 5,400. LEVERT hasn't really been as consistent as Carroll has. He's had 2 games with 17 DK points, and he's had 2 games with 32 and 33. So sort of been up and down. You don't really know what you're going to get from him. But in this matchup against the Knicks, it wouldn't surprise me at all if LEVERT had another 30 DraftKings point game. I think I would prefer DeMar Carroll for 100 more just because Carroll's been a lot more consistent. But LEVERT definitely has upside here. Could definitely put up 30 plus against the Knicks. So I also like him if you need another value play at small forward. I think he is definitely in play at 5,400. And I don't think there is any guys like 5K and under I'm going to be looking at small forward. Just don't see a guys I have a ton of interest in here. There are guys here that sub 5K that I mentioned earlier, like Tim Hardaway. You can play him at small forward. But no guys here that I see are just small forward that I'm going to be looking to target. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to power forward. Alright, so at power forward, I got 2 core plays here. So I'll be plugging one guy at power forward, and then the other guy, he's center eligible, so we'll be plugging him in at center. But looking at other power forwards besides my core plays, Kristaps is at 8,500, and he gets to face the Nets. Obviously, a great matchup for Porzingis, but he is really expensive at 8,500. For Porzingis to get you 6x value in this matchup, you're going to need at least close to 50 DraftKings points, I would imagine, which he can definitely do, I think, but I think I'd rather pay it for other guys, maybe a guy like Durant for a little bit more, or one of my core plays we'll get onto in a second that I just like for a little bit more. It is a great matchup for Porzingis, but at that price tag, I think there are other guys like Durant or Nikola Jokic, who is a core play for me today at 8,400. I think there are other guys I'd rather target, so I'm not going to be on Porzingis. Love Nikola Jokic today at 8,400, a core play for me. Going to be plugging him in at power forward. Just love this spot for Nikola Jokic going up against a Hawks team that's just not good defensively versus bigs. They lost Dwight Howard. They lost Paul Millsap. Jokic has yet to really have a monster game this year. He's actually been pretty, I would say, mediocre as of late. 32, 22, 47, and 32 DraftKings points. His best game of the year was against Washington, where he had that 47. Put up 29 real-life points, 5 assists, and 9 rebounds. If you played Jokic last year, you know this guy has a ton of upside. He has triple-double upside. He can definitely get you 50, 60 DK points just about any night. And given this matchup against Atlanta, who, like I said, they lost 2 of their bigs who are really good defenders, I think Jokic could just totally eat in this matchup. So I'm going to be plugging him into the court at 8,400. Love the price tag and the matchup. So he's a guy I have a ton of interest in today. And then looking for some guys that are a little bit cheaper, Paul Millsap in that game, he gets to face his former team. So if you're into the revenge games, maybe you should target Millsap here. He's sort of been mediocre this year, really hasn't done much. 26, 33, 26, and 14 DraftKings points through 4 games. But it is a revenge game, and Atlanta is not that good defensively against power forwards and centers. So I don't mind Millsap at that price tag if you want to target him. But one of the core plays for me is another power forward today. He is eligible to play at center, so I'm going to be plugging him in there. And that's ENES KANTER at 5,900 going up against Brooklyn. Just love this spot for ENES KANTER. I've already said this before. I love this game as a game stack. Just a ton of guys in this game are really cheap, and it's a great game that should be high scoring and should be played at a very fast pace. So I think it really sets up well for KANTER. We know this guy has a ton of upside, especially when he gets the minutes. So far this year, through 3 games, he put up 24, 30, and 41 DraftKings points. When he put up that 41 DK point game was against Boston, and he played 30 minutes in that game. So if KANTER plays 30 minutes in this game in a matchup against Brooklyn, he should be able to totally smash value. Should definitely be able to get 6x value if he gets the minutes. So I really like him as a value play today at 5,900. He has a ton of upside, and in this matchup against Brooklyn, this should be very high scoring. Love ENES KANTER today at 5,900. Now I actually have 3 core plays at power forward. There's a guy that I really like here, another cheap play that I think you should target. Frank Kaminsky at 5,100 going up against the Rockets. Going to be plugging Frank in at the forward position at 5,100. Like I said, I just love this spot for Frank. Cody Zeller has already been ruled out for this game, so Kaminsky going to continue to see a heavy workload, a ton of minutes. And the 3 games that Cody Zeller has been out, Kaminsky's played 33, 34, and 28 minutes. Has put up 35, 27, and 32 DraftKings points. Kaminsky's not seeing his price increase. He went up $100 from his last game against Denver. So I think the guy's still way too cheap. He should totally be able to crush value, especially if he gets the minutes, which I definitely think he's going to. And in a game that Charlotte's going to get a lot more possessions in because of Houston's pace, a game that I think could be high scoring, Kaminsky should just thrive in this game, should crush value. He's a value play I absolutely love today. So I'm going to be plugging him in at forward for 5,100 today. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for forward. There's some other guys here I think you can target, like Rondae Hollis-Jefferson and Larry Nance, but at their price tags, I would just rather have Kaminsky in that range. But if you don't want to play Kaminsky, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, Larry Nance, I think 2 guys you can definitely target if you're looking to go cheap at power forward. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what I'm seeing for power forward today. Let's go ahead and move on to center. Alright, so up top at center, we've got Karl-Anthony Towns at 8,600 having to go up against OKC and Steven Adams. That is a tough matchup for Towns, so I don't think I'm going to be paying up for him today. just because I like other guys more. I like KD to pay up for. I like Russell Westbrook. I like James Harden. I like Jokic. Towns isn't really a guy I'm going to be looking to pay up for today. So I don't have a ton of interest in him up top. Looking for some other guys. I think you can definitely target Dwight Howard today at 7,100. It isn't a revenge game for Howard, but he did used to play for Houston a couple years ago. So take that for what it's worth. But Howard is another guy that's been off to a really good start this year. Been so consistent. 36, 39, 44, and 40 DraftKings points through 4 games. Been crushing value. For him to get 5x value, you need 35 DK points. And he's yet to get less than that so far this year. His worst game was against Detroit when he got 36. So I think Dwight Howard's definitely in play today at 7,100. If you're looking at that price range, love him today. And another guy I also really like is at 6,900. Might go overlooked. NIKOLA VUCEVIC going up against the Spurs. Now, we normally don't like taking guys against the Spurs because they do play at a slow pace. Pretty good defensive team. But they definitely struggle against centers. If there is one weak spot in the Spurs defense, it's at the center position. So I love this spot for NIKOLA VUCEVIC. He's really cheap. He saw a really big price decrease. In his last game against Brooklyn, he was 8,300. And today we're getting him for just 6,900. Really cheap price tag on Vooch. And the guy's been killing it this year. 45, 63, 47, and 30 DraftKings points through 4 games. So if you're looking in that 7K, 6K price range, love NIKOLA VUCEVIC at 6,900. Definitely think he's in play. But one of the core plays for me is going to come 6K at center. I'll be plugging him in at utility. That's Steven Adams going up against the Timberwolves. Just love this spot for Steven Adams, and I think he's way too cheap. He did just face this Timberwolves team a couple days ago. He's already faced them once this year. Had a great game, put up 44 DraftKings points, had 17 points, 3 assists, and 13 rebounds, got the double-double. And it's understandable that he played well because it is a good matchup. Karl-Anthony Towns is not a good defender. And like I said, I think Steven Adams is just too cheap. The guy's only had one bad game this year, and that was against Utah, against Rudy Gobert, who's probably the best defensive big man in the league. So I love Steven Adams today at 6K at center. One center that I have a ton of interest in is him. Just think it's a great matchup, and the price tag is way too cheap. He should definitely be able to return value on that salary. So absolutely love him today at 6K. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for center. Those are just some guys I'm going to be targeting here. These are the 5 core plays for today. Spencer Dinwiddie, Nikola Jokic, Enes Kanter, Frank Kaminsky, and Steven Adams. Definitely consider putting some of these guys into your lineups. Or if you just want to build a lineup and fill out the other 3 spots, you can definitely do that if you choose to do so. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you drop a like on the video and be sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel. I do upload these videos daily for you guys. So make sure you are subscribed with notifications on so that way you'll never miss out on any of my new videos. And also be sure to follow me on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Twitter or leave them down in the comment section. We'll reply to any comments or questions you guys have. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Good luck tonight, guys. Peace.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, she shaking fast. Yeah, she dropping slow. What? Yeah, neck on fro. What? Whoa, 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 whoa.